Hi everyone, I'm back. I really hope this mic is on. Um, Today I really don't have a topic. I really just wanted to like brain dump and kind of just yap away, as like a form of release and like expression. But it's been a while since I have actually recorded a long form video. Like, I'm pretty sure my last one was like back in May. So I think this is like episode 6 or 7 again. I'm not even keeping track anymore, but I kind of felt called to like get back into long form content again. And so here I am. I'm sitting on my couch, kind of laid back, kind of chill. Um, and I don't really know where I'm going with this one today. I'm kind of just gonna like do whatever comes to my mind. But you know what? You know what? Sometimes the best things are created when you really don't have a plan and you're not organized, like sometimes it's good to just go with it. But I will let you know how this one goes. I might not return back to the point, like I might not circle back to the point because I don't really have a point for this one. Um, but lately something that's really been on my mind is like being a cycle breaker of any kind. I feel like I am a very big cycle breaker in multiple areas of my life. So it's like I feel like I wear this badge on my head all the time that sometimes I don't want to, but I'm proud of it at the same time. Anyway, being a cycle breaker as a woman is really like there's just not even enough words I feel like to describe the feeling of having to constantly blaze your own trail for yourself with literally everything. You have to constantly reinvent the wheel because the wheel doesn't freaking exist for us. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll talk about today, but I just feel like growing up in um I just feel like growing up as like a little girl, you're already programmed and conditioned with so many like roles and labels that like you don't even want. I'm sure a lot of my cycle breakers out there understand what I'm trying to say, but most women are going to understand what I'm trying to say, whether you're breaking cycles or not. But you just get older and you realize the world was set up for a man in so many different ways, and you have to really carve your own path out, and make things work for you. And it's like that extra attention to detail, that extra energy, it's just not talked about enough. And I'm like, can we please make this public knowledge? Can we please talk about this more often? Like, we are running on two different types of nervous systems, two different types of biology. Like, we're just so different. We are so different, but we are expected to work and operate like on the cycle of a man's cycle. It's just like, it's just not it. And then, of course, there's so many of us girls out here who are not understanding our bodies. We're not getting it. We're not understanding why we feel some type of way. But it's like we are not meant to be on a 24-hour cycle like these men are. We have a 28-day cycle. And I didn't really understand what that meant until I got older and I really started learning about my cycle and I started learning about different phases and like, the things that your body needs. And it's like we are built and wired for community and connection, and we need to be kikiing, okay? Bring back the kiki. Like, we are not supposed to be doing everything by our freaking selves. Even the nuclear family, like, don't get me started, okay? I don't even think that's set up and sustainable for a woman necessarily. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we're not getting the love and the support in the community we need. And then, like, it's been hitting me. We're not getting it because we are supposed to create it. We are supposed to create it. And that goes back to my point of that mirror, where it's like, it's always going to fall on us when you become aware of something and you know that this is wrong. And then you get deeper and you realize this is like a systemic problem. The system's not going to be built for you overnight. Like, we have to be the change who eventually will hopefully, you know what I mean, change things enough globally that systems have changed for the future generation of women. But there's this grief and being like, damn, I'm not going to get that though. I'm not going to walk into ease just because I'm aware. Um, so lately I've been killing my ego with that one because it's like people before me, the women before us, changed so much. They changed so much for us, and had it not been for them, like getting up and doing the work, we would not be able to live the life that we live. I think about that all the time. I work in real estate, so it's like when I found out that it was only like 52 years ago, I'm pretty sure that's just statistic. I'm gonna have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it was 52 years ago when women were finally able to open like their own lines of credit and like get a home loan. I might be wrong about the credit thing, but I'm pretty sure for the home loan it's been 52 years. Before that, they could not sign their own loans, like a home loan. They had to get a loan with a man, which means women could not own houses. We could not own real estate until 54, 52 years ago. I don't know why, but that doesn't sit right in my spirit. Okay? That's not sitting right in my spirit. 52, like my mom was alive. What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? Um, it just feels so wrong, but the fact that that wasn't that long ago shows me like how much work we have to do for women moving forward. How much we have to pour into our communities, okay? Um, but it also makes me like feel empowered, like as exhausted as any of us might be with what we're dealing with. I'm like, no, like I have to keep paving my way for myself, for the world, but also for the women to come. Like we have to keep wanting to fight the fight. Even though the fight shouldn't be there, right? Like it should be, everything should be peachy and fuzzy. Um, it's not, and this is reality. And yeah, but like I said, it kind of makes me empowered to be like, yes, I need to keep doing what I'm doing and keep getting at it because there's a purpose in this. Had the women before me not fought, I would not be able to sign a home loan, for example. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Um, so we need to keep going to make some change for the future generation of women that they can enjoy something and like be they can be grateful and empowered to be a woman as well, just like how we are today, despite everything that we face. Anyway, this is getting off track. I'm not really talking about generational curses anymore. See, once you bring women empowerment into it, it's like I'm just not gonna shut up. Because I can talk about this all day. But anyway, back to my point. I'm trying to get back to my point. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna get back to my point about breaking generational curses as a woman and specifically as a daughter. Okay, that's where I'm gonna go with. Um, there is an insane amount of pressure, I think, for people who are breaking generational curses in general. But when you're a daughter trying to break generational curses, there is this insane weight on you because you are obviously trying to mold your home environment and your emotional environment in a way. But when you step out into the world, your work is not done. Okay, you still have to change and tweak and adjust yourself for the world that is not necessarily made to protect and serve women the way that it probably should be. So you never really have an off switch. You are always constantly going. But when it comes back to, really wanting to make a change, with your curses, whatever curses you were dealing with, I think it is just crazy the expectation that we place on daughters, especially in immigrant households. Like I come from an immigrant household. The double standards are just crazy to me. They're just crazy to me. Um, and I feel like we don't see girls as their own people. And I feel like this is like this is like such a huge part of why we have so many of these curses. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of other things like emotional maturity. You know what I mean? Every family is different. There is culture. There's a whole bunch of things that could cause all these problems. But like, the fact that we don't respect women the way we should, I really feel like is a big reason why we have so many of the fucking problems around the world, including a lot of trauma that we face within the household as daughters. Um, and it starts like from such a young age. Like I know so many girls who had to literally pick up after their siblings, had to babysit their siblings without a second thought. They had to take care of their mothers emotionally, they had to take care of their fathers in some way. It's like you're given this title and this role before you even get to be seen as a human being. And I'm like, that sounds really familiar, doesn't it? That sounds really familiar to me. It's almost like that's kind of what society expects of a woman as well. Is like, shut up, go home, cook your fucking food, take care of people, do your shit. That's what they want from us. They want us to be silent so we don't have these roles in government, so we don't have these leadership positions, so we don't have money to make decisions about the way the economy works. They don't want us involved in the world. You know what I mean? So to me, the way I see it is like sometimes the house is just a reflection of like what the fuck is going on in the outside world. And that shit is miserable for people like us who are awake and aware, because it's like you don't really just get to run away from the issues thinking that the world's just gonna like hold you and catch you. I mean, that's not really how it's going to work. You know, we have to build ourselves up everywhere we go. And this is why I'm such a big advocate for like hyping women up wherever I go, and like making sure that we are in community whenever we can be, whether that's through a video or through my friends or whatever the heck. I've always tried to be part of a women's group of some kind, because no one will really understand your experience more than a woman would. Period. Like, culture is cool, all that is amazing, but the bond you can have with another woman, just knowing she understands so much of what you have been through, you can find some commonality there. You know what I mean? But I'm like getting off track again. But back to my point. I'm gonna try maybe not to get into too many details, but like, I guess this is like a message to any daughter out there of any kind who is trying to like break out of certain patterns that her family has instilled in her. Um, the fight is worth it, is pretty much what I have to say. A lot of this video has been very negative about the struggle, but um, the reason why it is so heavy, it is so hard to be different than what's around you, is because the difference that you're chasing, like the life you're chasing, is going to be worth the shit that you're leaving behind. And this is something that I have to constantly remind myself as well. There is so much power in choosing to be different. And that, I think, is like my real message. To be misunderstood and know you are going to be misunderstood, and still choose to be yourself, still choose to come in with authenticity, still choose to use your damn voice, still choose to be loud about what's right and wrong, and like stick to your morals, create a new value system for yourself, and like be able to use that to guide you through the world when you have no one who is teaching you, showing you these things. Matter of fact, a lot of you probably have people who are actually vetting against you when you try to break away from these cycles. That's what makes it even harder. But to be someone who still is like gung-ho on wanting what they want because they know that that's right, there is a freaking reason why that feeling is so painful, so isolating, so like you feel ostracized by your own people and by society. And that feeling is very hard, especially like I said, as a woman who maybe needs community and like wants to feel understood and heard, right? To go through all that pain, I promise there's a reason why that pain is so freaking painful. There is a reason why, because the place that you were trying to get to is going to be worth all the pain that you went through. I go back to my example about, you know, women not being able to own houses. I mean, I'm seeing two and two being put together. I don't know what it was like to be in their shoes and not even know, like, I can't even build my own wealth unless there's a man with me. Like, that would ensue a different type of anger in me, right? And I'm sure it did. And they fought for it enough for them to get it. But look at what they fought for, you know? If that rule wasn't in place now, I can't even, how would people even function? Everyone would be like, I have to get married, I have to be with a man in order to do this one thing. They would not be able to live their lives independently as themselves. Think about like the butterfly effect of how much that changes, right? And so it's the same thing. Like, there might be so many emotional blocks and things that you are going through within your household as a daughter, trying to grow up and navigate like who you want to be versus like who your family wanted you to be. And that pain can be very, like I said, it can be very isolating, and it can be very confusing. Like, you don't really know where you're going, but that's the point, is that no one's been where you're going, you know? So just take a step back and like applaud yourself for how freaking far you have come to even be aware of the fact that you are breaking cycles as a daughter and as a woman. Because like I said, it is not easy to always be on edge, always be on guard of, you know, what you have to change next or what is going to be thrown at you next. And no one is going to be there to really catch you. You have to depend on yourself to get up and do what you got to do. But um it's worth it. The fight is worth it. Some of the people that I look up to the most, genuinely the only people I ever look up to, are people who are like this, who are just extremely fiercely independent, um you know, don't take shit from no one, and they want to build their lives for themselves, because to me that is the most courageous way to live life. I feel like that's the only way to live life. Maybe it's just because I'm an Aquarius. Listen, I don't know, but I don't see what the point is if you're not living life authentically to yourself. Like, this world is so big and so beautiful, and like the opportunities are endless. You can literally create whatever you want and leave the world a better place when you die. Alexa, play Heal the World by Michael Jackson type shit, you know? But genuinely, if we have so much potential and so much, we're so limitless, it almost like hurts me to see us not wanting to be fiercely independent in ourselves, because I think everyone has such beautiful, great ideas. But if we let these systems and we let our household and we let people, especially, you know, everyone who wants to silence women, if we let them dim our energy and bring us down, how can we possibly come together to make these changes that we want to make? So I'm always looking up to people who are empowered and just like don't really care what people have to say about them. Those are the people who make change. Those are the people who are inspiring to me. And if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, those are the people who really make shit happen in the world. But guess what? They are not acknowledged until literally way, way, way later. And literally, Michael Jackson is such a good example of that. He's not a woman, but it's a very clear example to me how someone can be so ahead of their time. Someone can be doing all the right things and making the world literally such a better place, but they will be ostracized for it. They will be isolated for it. They will be, people will talk shit about them. This, that, and the third, okay? Years later, look at us now. You know, people are seeing him for his light. We are feeling his light. We feel his energy so heavily. And there's a freaking reason. You know, he was just ahead of his time. So I guess my point is, I'm circling back. You guys, I told you I would circle back. This is me circling back. Just because you are being brushed aside, isolated, looked at differently, whatever you are dealing with, does not mean that you are on the wrong path. If anything, I think it just means that you're ahead of your time. And I feel like that is just the core of being a daughter, and being a daughter who's breaking curses, and then like being a woman outside. Like, you are just ahead of your time. Like, I'm convinced we are just ahead of our time, but the world has not caught up. And it is up to us to create that world. That's why we need to be fiercely, fiercely authentic in our pursuit of like the life we want to live, because we need to leave the world a better place for the women and the girls that come after us. And just shape things in a different way. Anyway, this started with me just talking about nothing, and then it's like talked about women, and then we just talked about being an immigrant daughter and breaking curses. We just circled back. I don't know where this went, but as you can tell, there's a plethora of things going on in my brain at all times. But yeah, that's just what was on my mind today. Low key, this is on my mind every day, but that's just what came out. Hope y'all enjoyed. See y'all tomorrow.